Right, today I'll be fitting exhausts, hopefully. I have got to make a bracket up, well, two, one for each side, which goes somewhere across there. I have got a picture of what they should look like, but no dimensions, so yeah, that's just going to be make up as we go along. Got a little piece of stainless steel I'm going to use for that, probably a little bit on the wide side. This is 25mm. I probably could have got away with 20, but that's what I've got, so that's what we use. And yeah, in case you haven't guessed it already, you can see where we're going with this. Yeah, BSA Wasp replica, but not quite, because should have a twin carb really, and high compression pistons, and a shorter rear mud guard. But apart from those minor details, I have got the correct tank, which has got to be painted. Yeah, so what there is, it seems a bit strange, but obviously that's what BSA used to fit the, or to make a rear fixing, was handlebar clamps. I mean, these ones are old mangy ones, but they will just do so I can get everything positioned correctly to make the front bracket. I've got some new ones on order, some stainless steel ones, but these will do for now. So what there is these clamp around, I'm guessing this tube here, because this is where the bracket is, under there, so they're going to clamp on there somehow, and that is the correct spacer for the job. New old stock, which I managed to find. There's a part number for that. Did have the part number somewhere. Thought that was on there. Maybe not. Is it there? Oh. This probably doesn't even know what the part number is, but there we are. 682801 for that side. The other side was either 2800 or 2802, can't remember which, and strange enough it's a different length, which I couldn't find, so I've had to find the dimensions, but for some reason that other side is shorter. Assuming the dimensions I found are correct, we shall find out when we come to fit the other side. Why that would be different that side, I do not know, but it is. Yeah, so and I haven't got the, I just found some odd bolts. That's actually an M8 full thread bolt there, but that will do just for setting that up. Once I know the exact sizes, I will order them. This is just an odd 5/16 one I had lying around. Yeah, so what I'll do first of all is get this end clamped. I haven't got the fins on there as yet, but that wouldn't affect anything. It's just to they just need cleaning up and everything first. Yeah, so I will get that fitted on there. I had just opened these up a little bit because they were a bit tight. But, yeah, I'll get this fitted on here. I think I might just put a little bit of tape around there for now. Around there, so they don't dig into the paint too much. Yeah, so I'll get that clamped up, and then we'll have another look at it. Right, there we are. That's roughly how it's going to look at that end. So now I can get on. I think I'll make a cardboard template I think it's sort of like a U shape. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it goes that way. Looking at the pictures, so and one end was slightly longer than the other. I guess that's going to be the long end. Yeah, long end, short end. Yeah, so I'll make something up appropriate. I'm still not convinced I've got these the right length. This stud here, although I did go by the length that was in the book, still looks a little bit long. But I suppose might be alright, because I think there's supposed to be a sump guard on here as well, on the actual wasps. So I might see if I can get a hold of one of them, and that will probably be right then. I don't think that'll affect this bracket much. So that's what I need. Something like that. That sort of looks like the picture I've seen of them. That kind of shape. A little bit curvy on the top there. And yeah, that side slightly longer than that side. I think if I cut a piece of metal to that size, drill a couple of holes and bend it and see what we end up with, I think is the way to go with that. A little bit experimentation maybe, but yeah, hopefully it'll work out. Right, so there we are. Got a couple of holes drilled. Shape these ends up a little bit. There comes the hard part. Trying to get the right bends in it. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Right, I don't think I'm going to get that much better than that. Just sort of line it up on the outside. That does sort of line up how it should do. I haven't quite got the curve in the top like the originals, but as long as it holds it in place. What I'll do, I'll give that a little test fit, and we'll clean. Actually, I'll probably just clean it up first and then just test fit it, because I'm pretty sure that'll be alright. And then we'll have a look with it on. Not sure if that's quite the right angle. It does look slightly different to the ones that I've seen. It shouldn't be tilted further back, but without knowing the exact angle of these bends, whether they're offset or anything, it's a bit hard to tell. That will definitely hold it anyway. Now all I've got to do is make another one the same, which is the tricky bit, making it the same, the other side. Whether I just follow that pattern and reverse it and see what happens, probably going to be the thing to do. But because I've only got one pair of these clamps at the minute, I will have to take this side off before I start messing about with that. And in fact, that might well be different, because that spacer is different, which I can't quite work out why, unless the frame at the rear is offset slightly. That's the only thing I can think of. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And if I do put a sump guard on here, if I can get one, obviously I'll just need to nip that up a little bit, or take that washer off, the inner washer. Yeah, I've just put a plain nut on here. I have got a lock nut, no locks to go on there, and that was easier just to wind a plain nut on for now. Yeah, so I'll get on and make the other one, and hopefully it'll come out something similar. We shall see. Oh, so much for making these the same. That one is at a completely different angle. This side, that fixing there on the pipe. I assume I got the pipe on there correctly. I haven't put the spacer in the back there because it, I don't know, I'm not quite sure. I'm not convinced that's the right size. I think what I'm going to have to do is wait until I get the other pair of these, mount the other side and check heights, make sure that looks correct from the rear, because this is all at a different angle. Look at this from this way. I don't know if that shows up. This bracket here is canted in, whereas the other one was level, more or less, and this is actually a little bit higher on this side. If I put it lower, it would be even worse. I wouldn't get this bolt through. So there's something not quite right. I can probably bend that bracket, that wouldn't be an issue if that is. But before I start doing that, I think I want to mount them both and make sure they're at the same height before I do anything else. So yeah, till they turn up, I think I'm at a bit of a sticking point there, because that is definitely not the same. It's miles out. Yeah, it's going to have to be a completely different shape this side, and they are supposed to be the same according to the manual anyway, and that is sitting in there correctly. It should. I think if anything that should be up a little bit more, because that's resting on the casing there, which I don't think it should be. So yeah, I'm going to have to stop that for today and come back to that another day. I can now see why this spacer needs to be shorter this side, and look at that one, that side. That one needs to stick out further so the panel can get in, and this side needs to be shorter because of the kickstart. And I haven't tried the panel here yet, so I need to just check that will go on before I cut down the spacer. It's supposed to be the right size, which I made, because it needs to fit in there, so this doesn't foul on the kickstart. And that bracket is actually needs bending back a little bit, and then I'll cut this down to exactly the right size. But before I'll do that, I'll make sure the panel will actually go in there. I'm assuming this is the correct kickstarter. This one that was on the bike. Assuming it's not bent either. Yeah, but it does make that a little bit. The gap here is a little bit different to this side. So, but that is a new old stock spacer, so that should be the correct size, and it does. The dimensions that I found just say it should be that anyway. So, and yeah, got some new clamps on here, stainless steel ones. Yeah, so I've got to make another one of these for that side once I've worked out exactly what, or exactly how big I need to make this spacer here. So I'm going to try that panel, bend that flat, and see what size I need to cut this down to. Right, that's that little spacer cut down. It's about 15mm in the end, and I did try the panel, side panel. I can get that in, and there is clearance for the kickstart, although they are slightly different spacers from the spring either side, but I think that'll be okay. What else? Oh yeah, the bracket. Which ended up being slightly different to that one. The actual hole centers were the same. I did have to bend it a little bit different because typical pattern parts, this is at a slightly different angle to that one. You can see that? That one points down a little bit more. That one's a little flatter. So this bracket, this end is different, so it's a good job I didn't buy ready-made ones, because you can get them, because they would have been wrong, or I'd have to rebend them and repaint them. So it's a good job I just used a little bit of stainless for that. Tighten the clamps up. I just need to put a tie bar across here, which where's the other one? That's the one that came off there. It's a little bit, I think it's just a strip of aluminium someone's used. Don't think that's the proper one. It's obviously got multiple fixing holes. It doesn't look that great, so I should redo that. Need to get something different, maybe a strip of, just get an aluminium stainless steel bar, flat bar, to go across there and drill it. Yeah, because these holes don't even line up now, so yeah, but they are on. I have actually got my battery now, and I am very tempted to hook up some temporary fuel supply and see if it'll start. Yeah, let's think about that one. Might have to go and get some fuel though. I don't think I've got any. Yeah, so that is a little bit tempting to do that. Yeah, these bolts, they're only temporary for now. I'll get some better ones than that. I've got some on order, but obviously I ordered the length. The other side will be okay, but this side will have to be a short one. So I ordered the length that's supposed to be according to the book. So I think these pattern pipes probably are not even bent correctly this side. It's probably to miss the kickstart. It would need to come in a bit there. So yeah, unless you have a different kickstart on the Wasp, maybe that's what it is. I'll have to have a look at the parts book and see what that says. But, yeah, also couldn't get this cockpit in very far. I'll have to take that out and redo that, because that should be in a bit further than that, although that is tight. Yeah, so might start it up. We'll have to think. Okay, right, I'm going to go for a start up or attempt. This bike has never ran, well, not since I've had it. I bought it as a non-runner, and I didn't even attempt to start it because the journal, time-side journal, was so bad. So this is going to be the first start. So anything could happen, really. I'm just going to find a torch. I think it's down here. So I can check the return. I'll give it a few kicks over to try and circulate some oil. I'll get some fuel in my rig here. Hopefully that won't leak anywhere. I have a rag ready just in case. It's all a bit convoluted. Just put an absolute bare minimum in. Just to be safe. Right. So I will give this a few more kicks over without any ignition. Right, let's see if we get back to flood at first. Yep, we're there. Choke, I'll leave the choke off for now. Ignition. Oh, bloody hell. Choke. Is that all the fuel? Should be some there. Choke back off. Should be flooded enough. Turn the ignition off. Check the spark. I'm sure there is one. See that in there? I don't see it. Well, surely somewhere in the sky. Probably not very good idea near the carb. Yeah, definitely got a spark. So, could be timing. Could be this carburetor top the put a bit more fuel in there in the container. Give it a few more kicks over without the ignition on. So let's just try it again. That's off. That is on. Let's try. Doesn't seem to like choke. Sounds like it's trying. Whether this is too far up, too far down, or what? Well, she started. Got a little bit of oil burning off here. Some copper grease I put on them nuts. Yeah, I had to give it a bit of throttle to get that to fire up. That's all that needed, really. Does sound as though the timing is maybe a little bit off. So to check that, I'll need to get the strobe out. and set that up. So yeah, I think I might give that a little check. Moving the choke in the end didn't seem to really make a great deal of difference. So yeah, don't know whether that is fully off or not. I might have to do a little bit of adjustment with the choke, or the air lever rather. But yeah, got return, and yeah, so they're quite meaty on those straight through pipes. So hopefully we should have a run and bike.